This was back when I was 15. My mom made me join the youth choir at church because she said I needed to be part of something bigger than myself. Whatever that meant. It was just boring Wednesday night rehearsals and uncomfortable church pews. The building always smelled like old hymn books and cheap floor polish. Our priest was this guy named Father Keller. Old, soft-spoken, always had tea stains on his collar and smelled like cough drops. The other kids liked him. I didn't. Not cause of anything specific. Just had this way of talking to you like he already knew your secrets. He used to keep some of the girls after rehearsal to help with harmonies. That's what he said anyway. My friend Janie stayed once and said he was super intense about breathing exercises. I didn't ask more. I never stayed late. My mom picked me up right after. But this one night, she was late. Like real late. I waited outside the church doors in the dark hallway near the music room. You know that humming sound when fluorescent lights are dying? It was like that, just buzzing and echoing. Everyone else had gone. I was texting my mom when I heard, like crying? Not full sobbing, just soft sniffles. I walked toward the door. It was cracked open. I didn't mean to look inside. I just froze. My eyes sort of adjusted. Father Keller was sitting on the piano bench. Leah was on his lap. She was one of the shy girls. Never spoke much. Her head was just kind of hanging, and he had his phone out, pointing it at her. She didn't say anything, just stared at nothing. Her face looked weird, like she wasn't really there. I backed away so fast I hit the damn coat rack by the hall, made this loud metal clatter. But no one came out. I went home and didn't sleep. I reported it online, some anonymous hotline I found. Never told anyone else. A month later, Leah left school, just gone. Someone said her family moved. I didn't think about it again for years, until last summer. I was back in town visiting my sister and saw the newspaper at her place. The headline was small, but it said Father Keller had died of a stroke. It mentioned ongoing investigations, but didn't say much. The messed up part? The article said he left his will to someone named Leah, same last name too, and they found his laptop. Hundreds of encrypted folders, all named after kids from choir. I don't know why he gave her everything. Maybe she was part of it, or maybe he felt guilty. Maybe he made her believe something messed up. Sometimes I still dream about that room. Not the crying, just the way she looked, blank, like she had already left her body. I never joined another choir after that. I never believed in ghosts. My name is Mason. I'm a carpenter, and last month I joined a team restoring St. Augustine's Church, built in 1902. We were told to avoid the upper level above the altar, a small attic only reachable by a narrow ladder. The foreman warned, "Stay below. That space is unstable." My curiosity ignored the caution. On my second evening, I felt it first as a whisper of unease. Tools slipped from my grasp when I passed beneath the altar. Late at night, I heard scraping, soft, irregular, as though something moved behind the old wooden panels. I chalked it up to rodents or shifting beams, but every time I glanced up, I caught a flicker of movement near the ceiling. Once, I could swear I saw a pale shape at the hatch entrance. My heart thumped. I told myself it was exhaustion. By Wednesday, the noises had settled into a rhythm, a faint scratching at dawn, a quiet thump at dusk, an odd coincidence. I kept finding my boots untied in the morning. Standing near the ladder after everyone left, I noticed a loose board next to the hatch. My hand found a hidden latch concealed under peeling paint. My pulse raced as I lifted it. I climbed the ladder into the cramped room. A single bulb hung from the rafters, unlit but dust-choked. Dozens of battered shoes lined the walls, tiny black Mary Janes, scuffed children's sneakers, heavy women's pumps. In the center sat an antique metal bed with leather straps at the head and foot. The plaster walls bore deep claw marks arcing toward a cross bolted to the ceiling. Every hair on my neck stood. I snapped a few photos and climbed down without a word. That night, I dreamt of being strapped to that bed, forced to watch unseen eyes from the rafters. I woke at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat. My phone buzzed with strange static, no messages, just raw interference. When morning light spilled into the nave, police tape ringed the church doors. I arrived to find a coworker, Elena, staring at the scene. "Someone broke in last night," she whispered. "Climbed the bell tower, jumped." She shook her head. "He was a local kid." I swallowed hard and pulled out my phone. "Look," I said, showing her the attic photos. Elena's eyes narrowed. "These are all just blurry shots of a dusty, empty space," she said. "There's nothing up there." My chest tightened. I replayed each picture. Blank darkness, splashes of grainy gray. No shoes, no bed, no claw marks, just empty rafters. The church sits empty now, its stones colder than ever under the morning sun. I walk past that cellar entrance every day now, avoiding the ladder. Sometimes I swear I hear soft crying above my work boots. I check my phone as often as I can, half expecting new photos to appear. I don't know what I found or what found me. The attic remains sealed, but I feel its weight pressing on my shoulders. And I still don't believe in ghosts, yet I can't shake the sense that I'm being watched. I still remember the day I first stepped inside St. Mark's Church as part of the restoration team. My name is Alex, and in early 2021, I was hired to oversee the century-old building's structural repairs. The church had fallen into disrepair. Its stained glass windows were cracked, pews splintered, and the pulpit looked dangerously worn. What none of us expected was its dark secret: the sudden disappearance of Father Thomas in 1999 mid-sermon, screaming, "They're buried under us," before vanishing into the night. I had worked on numerous historic buildings, but none had haunted me like this. I discovered a scanned page online, posted by his niece in 2020. They came to me in dreams. The choir boys, all 6. They said they never reached heaven. The entry ended abruptly, ink smudged. I felt a chill when I read it, but I shrugged it off as sensationalism. On my first day inside, I heard faint whispering under the floorboards near the pulpit. The foreman joked about acoustics, but my stomach clenched. When I ran a hand along the pulpit's edge, I felt dampness, like someone had wiped away moisture moments before. That night, I dreamed of yellow baptism robes drifting in a dusty room and children's laughter turning to sobs. The next morning, I brushed off the dream, blaming it on fatigue. But strange things kept happening. My tape measure went missing, only to reappear at the foot of the ladder. I found tiny footprints in the dust, too small for any adult boot, leading toward the altar. At dusk, the nave felt colder than the crisp evening air outside. At the end of the day, I noticed a dull thud from beneath the plywood covering the pulpit floor. I pried up a board and glimpsed bone. The hairs on my arms bristled. We called the archaeologists. When they removed the floorboards, 6 tiny skeletons wrapped in rotten baptismal cloth lay side by side, perfectly intact. No grave markers, no records. The church claimed they were victims of an unmarked burial ground, but I knew better. The baptisms recorded in the parish log show only 4 infant deaths between 1905 and 1910. These remains didn't fit. As I watched the scientists wrap each skeleton, my chest tightened with dread. Those robes matched the ones I'd seen in my dream. That night, I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned, replaying Father Thomas's last words. In my mind, I heard soft singing drifting up from an unseen choir, 6 voices calling my name. I sat up, heart pounding, and in the dim light I saw a shadow pass across the doorframe. I froze. The air felt heavy, as if 6 pairs of tiny feet pressed the floorboards next to my bed. In the weeks since, the church has boarded up the work site. Locals whisper that the ground itself refuses to rest. I left the site trembling, unable to shake the feeling I'm still being watched. I keep the journal open on my desk and sometimes read that final entry, hoping it will explain why I can still hear muffled footsteps beneath my own floorboards, and why Father Thomas never found peace.